Now, Jalen, what do we like to watch the Pelicans do?
But the Pelicans fly! The Pelicans fly!
The Pelicans were flying all over the Clippers in a dominant win for the Pelicans, led by that guy Zion, who's really opened up his game of late. Do you think that this young team is coming together to make a good run into the playoffs?
You know what I think, Jacoby? They may be young, but they're ready. I like what Stan Van Gundy has done with this squad. Zion, of course, is going to be celebrated for the way he finishes in the paint, the way he continues to attack the basket, but also his playmaking and his ball handling is something that unlocks the offensive attack, and it takes a lot of pressure, in particular, off Lonzo Ball.
Yep.
I think that has allowed him to now settle into who he can be as an NBA player. And you and I both have a statistic about Lonzo Ball's three-point makes per game as it relates to the rest of the top players in the game.
Oh, yeah. When you look at him and how he's developed that three-point shot over the years that he's been in the league, you can see the dramatic increase. And he had a bad bubble, so everyone came into this year low on Lonzo, but there are some players in the NBA that Lonzo has scored more three-point baskets than that would blow your mind. Players like, I don't know, Trae Young, Luka Doncic, and many other prominent players. Lonzo is now shooting better from three than. That was a big win for them. However, before we move on, I do have to say this. Pelicans, y'all need to play some defense. I love that Jackson Hayes is dunking and Lonzo's hitting threes and Zion's got the ball, but y'all need to play some defense for real. Well, someone who no one can play defense on in the NBA, we will not see on the court for quite some time. Joel Embiid has a bone bruise. He'll be reevaluated in 2 weeks. He'll obviously be out for those 2 weeks, but he was the front runner for the MVP. But with him being out, how do you think this changes the MVP race?
I know everybody likes to talk about the MVP race way too early in the season, but now since we're post All-Star break, this is where the players actually start jockeying for position. And there's no clear-cut favorite to me right now. I believe it's going to be decided during the second half of the year. There are going to be prominent players like LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo that have been terrific. James Harden, what he's done with the Nets, the Joker in Denver. There are a lot of players, Jacoby, that have been putting in work this year, but it's going to be decided based on how they perform the second half of the season.
I'm glad you mentioned James Harden and the Nets because they continue on their tear even after the All-Star break. And James Harden, every time he laces his sneakers, it seems like he gets a triple-double. He now has 9 triple-doubles since joining the Nets, and they're doing this all without KD. Jalen, 12 wins in their last 13 games, and with Joel Embiid out, what does this mean for the Eastern Conference at the top?
I just believe that this is why when you put 3 outstanding offensive weapons together, they're able to sustain themselves when one player is out. So, of course, you're going to miss Kevin Durant. But when you still have James Harden and Kyrie Irving, those guys are more than willing to fill in offensively, take those shots, get those points, and put in work. And so the Nets, if KD's able to return, will still be my favorite in the East. But I'll tell you what I've been telling you the last month or so. If KD went into All-Star break and he was not playing, and we came out of All-Star break and he's still not playing, to me, that's worrisome for their long-term prognosis. So hopefully he's able to get healthy and get some games in before the season continues to get later and later in dealing with the injury that he's dealing with, especially coming off the injury like an Achilles that he's overcoming from last season.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.